Welcome to Hoda's Career Chat. For those of you joining for the first time, I'm a certified professional career coach, and what that means, I wear many hats in the career development field, helping my clients find the jobs that they want to passionate about. For today, I'm starting live with Instagram, first time, so definitely appreciate your comments on what you think of what's happening in Hoda's Career Chat. And without further ado, I'll start with a quotation, which is usually how Hoda's Career Chat starts. Follow your passion. The quotation is, if left to your own devices, if you didn't have to worry about making a living or what others thought of you, what are you most drawn to doing? Think about it. When people tell you to follow your passion, what are you doing to continue following your passion? For me, I tell you that what is very important is that your life is what you make out of it. So in order for you to find your passion, and that's why the topic today is about passion, is because a lot of my clients say, well, everybody says, follow your passion, follow your passion. Well, I cannot seem to find my passion. How do I discover what my passion is? So your life is what you make out of it. So what are you doing every day is where your passion is, where you find your passion. So think about motivators. That's the first thing we talk about is motivators. What motivates you to wake up in the morning? What gets you excited about moving forward in your day? That would be one way to find your passion. Another way to find your passion is to think about your interests and skills. What are interests that you can spend a whole day working on? That's what it is if you left to your own devices. What are you most drawn to doing? Typically, finding your passion may not be easy for a lot of us. I know it took me a while. I know I have two passions that you can merge together. If you think you have two, it's okay. Some people have three or four. They're multi-talented. And in the gifted education field, we call them multi-potentialite. And that's a good thing too, if you have that. I have two passions. Mine is career coaching, and the other one is gifted education. And with both of them, I find I really enjoy them because I am helping students or clients move forward in their education or your career. And that's why I'm always excited about Hoda's Career Chat, because I get to answer your education and career questions. Another question that was posed by many of my clients recently is that with the recent changes with COVID-19, what are the skills that I should be working on developing since I'm home anyway? Well, the World Economic Forum listed top 10 skills for 2020, and that was before COVID-19. But if we look at them, we will find that they are still applicable, perhaps more so right now because of COVID-19. And I'll read them to you quickly, but if you don't get a chance, because I read them too quickly, to write them down, you can either Google them, World Economic Forum, Top 10 Skills for 2020, or you can watch this live Instagram on YouTube as well, because it will be posted on YouTube with those skills listed on a slide. The top 10 skills, and they're not in particular order, is critical thinking, complex problem solving, cognitive flexibility, negotiation, people management, service orientation, coordinating with others, emotional intelligence, judgment and decision making, and creativity. According to a lot of researchers, these 10 skills we can all develop. If we really put our mind to it, we can all develop. Currently, I'm working on the creativity part, and if you manage to make it to the YouTube video for this presentation, you can let me know if I'm doing a good job. I kind of played around with these top 10 skills and listed them on what I think is a very nice and colorful slide, but I'd love to hear your comments about the creativity part. I never thought of myself as creative. I still don't, but because research is telling us we can develop it, I'm working on developing that. But many of us have abilities that are natural to us, and so service orientation could be one. So really good at customer service, people management, not only teamwork, but leadership skills. The good news though is we can develop them and then add them to our technical and professional abilities that we already have, and hopefully be able to find job into the future. So check them out and let me know what you think of these top 10 skills. Now is the time of Hoda's Career Chat. Again, for those of you who've joining for the first time, there is a section in Hoda's Career Chat where I get to answer your education and career questions. I want to thank for everyone who already sent them in their questions, and I am looking forward to reading them and answering them. If you have questions for future live events, please don't hesitate to send them my way, and I will gladly answer them. Before I move on, I have some housekeeping things that I like to share, housekeeping rules, I guess. There are no right or wrong questions. So any question you send me is going to be answered, and I will take it as seriously as any question that is sent. More importantly, no question is too silly or for me to contemplate and respond to. So please, no question is too silly for you to contemplate and share. Believe me, if you are thinking of it, someone else is as well. And it's good for us to bring it out into the open, discuss it, and learn what opportunities can be available in order to help you and others move forward. My promise to you is if I don't know the answer, I will let you know. And I will do my best to find out the answer for you. So let's start quickly by having a look at your questions. Is it okay to apply for a job that I know I am not qualified for? This is a very good question because I do get a lot of clients who say, well, I love this job. Can I just apply for it? I would say, why do you think you're not qualified for it? What is missing? What qualifications do you feel you do not have? For my clients, we play around with their abilities and skills and see that perhaps after all, they could be qualified for it. But more importantly, I feel that it's all about how you frame your resume. It's all about how you write the cover letter and develop, because you may not have the particular skills they're asking for, but you may have similar skills that you find is a good fit for that job. And then that is probably why you're interested in it, because you know you've got the skills. I mean, deep down inside, you know you can do it. But definitely, what are your reasons for wanting to apply for it if you believe you're not qualified? But otherwise, if you think you can do it, but the qualifications they're asking for are a bit too much, then that's something to see. If you play around with your resume and cover letter, would you be able to show that you do have the skills and you are capable of doing that job? So whether it's okay or not is up to you, and it's up to your skills and qualifications and how you can use them to show that you are perhaps qualified for it. All right, moving on to the next question. Why do I need to get a job? I love that question, and I get it a lot from young people, sometimes people who are close to retirement and trying to think about what they want to do next in their retirement life, how they're going to spend it. I think most importantly is a job gives you a purpose in life. It gives you a reason to wake up in the morning and get going. The type of job you find will, of course, depend on your expectations and your values. What do you want out of a job? Again, this is where reflection becomes important, and thinking, why do I want a job? So that's a question definitely that you need to ask yourself. Once you find that, then we will come down to why do you need a job? The two most important needs are, of course, financial reasons. You need somehow to earn money and pay for your expenses, whether you like to travel or go out to restaurants and bars, or even just hobbies at home, gardening. You want to buy plants, so you do need some sort of financial income. if you are close to retirement and you feel you have accomplished that, then it's really about giving you purpose to wake up in the morning. And I work with some clients who are getting close to retirement or have just recently retired and come back and say, well, I always thought I want to stop working, I'm done, I'm going to go have fun. But after a month or two, they find that they need some purpose in their life, a reason to get up every morning. And definitely finding a job becomes a need at that point. It doesn't have to be a full-time job, of course, but it could be a part-time, it could be casual on-call, and it also could be in the form of volunteering. But if you're young and asking that question, it's what we do in life is working. There is that expectation, and particularly if you have a financial need. But we don't, the good news is that in today's age, we don't really need to worry about working 9 to 5. Work has become very flexible in that we can choose the hours we want to work, choose whether we want to work in an office or outside of the office, choose whether we want to work at a desk or in a retail place or a restaurant. Lots of choices, and so jobs are becoming more fun, more engaging. You just have to find your passion, find what gets you going every morning, and you will find the job you like. Next question. Which jobs will always remain and will not be taken over by the robots? I love that question. It's definitely on the mind of a lot of researchers in the career field and the economic field as well. I would say think about the top 10 skills we talked about today with the ones recommended, and they include, let's say, the service sector. I believe robots will never be able to take the service sector because of that human touch that is necessary. The researchers show that customer service will always remain important. And yes, now we can talk with the phone and punch in. For those of you my age, we didn't do that, but now we're getting used to it. And a lot of us have used to do the chats online. You know, if I have a question, I can answer, I can get an answer. Like right now, recently I needed to fix my phone and it was not working. So I went on my computer and started a chat with an anonymous person or machine. I'm not sure what it was, but I was able to resolve my phone issues without actually speaking to a human. But there is that service sector that we can think of. We think of the medical field. Yes, robots can perform the operation, but someone really needs to present that human touch where we talk to the person who is going to undergo the surgery under a lot of stress and very scared of what the surgery could be successful or not. We need that human touch. There's also right now, because of COVID-19, we talk a lot about the mental issues that could result from being home alone. That in of itself shows the value of the human touch and its importance. So even when we think about recently in a conference of the robots, you know, having the machines as we leave the stores, scan everything, check us in at hotels, even the keys, we don't need to get a key. We can use our phone to get into a hotel room. Yes, they have been replaced, but we'll always need people to make sure that the robot or the machines are working fine. We need people to create the machines. So definitely that innovation and creativity that we talked about is important as well. So there will be a lot of jobs. Go back, review those top 10 skills and see which ones are your strength. And you can find a lot of jobs that will include these top 10 skills, and that many that will match your skills that you feel are the strongest. All right, I'm moving on to the next question. Should I include a job that lasted 1 month on my resume? It depends on your reason for wanting to include it. Yes, recruiters and hiring managers don't like to see you hopping in on a monthly basis from one opportunity to the next, whatever your reasons are, unless you are a contractor or you do that as part of your job. Like I do that as part of my job where I do different contracts. So the way I would put my resume is I would put it with the skills, because I am not completely committed to one employer. So I will focus on the skill that I developed in the different jobs that I've moved on through contracts from 1 month. Some of them are 1 month, some of them are 3 months. So there is a functional resume is what they call it, and where you focus more on your skills rather than on posting your jobs in a chronological order. Now, if it was a one-time thing, one-time job, 1 month, but the other jobs that you've done have lasted for more than 1 year, you could still use that resume where you focus on your skills. But if you want to highlight whatever skills you developed in that particular month, if you feel that job allowed you to develop a lot of opportunities and build a lot of new skills, then you can definitely include it if you don't want to change the chronological order of your resume. But make sure, and just with using any resume, that the skills you use on that resume are relevant to the job you're applying to. So definitely try to match the skills to the resume, the skills in the resume to the skills in the job posting. Remember the ATS system, applicant tracking system? It's looking for keywords. So as long as you include these skills as part of the keywords in your resume, then you will be moving on the right track. And again, so more than one job, that is, if you're a contractor like me, then you definitely would want to use the functional resume so that you can focus on your skills. But if it is a lot of jobs that are many years and you like to highlight that you have stayed for many years at a certain position, then you can use the chronological resume, include that 1 month, but really highlight the importance of the skills and your reasons for including it. What are your thoughts on assessments for finding the right career path? There are different schools of thoughts on this. Some people say, wow, they're the right way, the only way to find your passion, because we talked about passion today. Others don't agree so much. I am with the others, because I think if you take one assessment, such as the Myers-Briggs, you are limiting your options. There is that, I believe, and a lot of my clients prefer it that way, is that once you find, okay, you are fitting into a certain box, then you really cannot get yourself out of that box. So I definitely always prefer the narrative assessment, which is really sitting down, talking with a career coach or with your friends about your likes, your dislikes, and finding that on your own through reflection. And believe me, the process of finding that on your own is going to help you find the passion and really the career that you want to move forward with. Having said that, I believe that using assessments can be a last resort. So if you've tried everything, you've talked to friends, you've wrote to your school counselor, you've talked to other professionals in the career field, and you still have not been convinced that that is your passion for fashion, then you can definitely use an assessment. I believe it should be a last resort though, because from my experience, it limits people and puts them into boxes that they feel, okay, I am an introvert and that's all I can do. I cannot get out of my box of introvert. Or I am not creative according to this survey result, this assessment result, so I'm not going to go towards creativity. The thing is, as we grow, our interests and passions and the skills change. We grow and develop things that develop skills we thought we don't have, or even lose some of the skills that we thought were our strengths. I do favor one assessment if that's what you are hoping to get out of me, and that is the VIA Strengths Survey. I like it because it gives you 24 strengths and it shows you that you have all of them. It's just a matter of what is your strength in these. Mine was gratitude, and I find the strengths do not limit you in a box, because with gratitude I was able to branch into many options, so my options remained open, and I was not boxed into a certain category. The VS Strengths survey is available online for free. You do have to give your email, but you can always unsubscribe from their newsletters. And anyway, they don't send a lot. I'm subscribed and I receive 1 or 2 really a year. But they're all fun stories to read if you're interested in reading them. But if not, you can right away unsubscribe once you receive your results. So VS Strengths survey would be the only assessment test I would encourage. All right, next question. What is a good plan for career success? Well, this is a very, very broad question. Good plan for career success would involve a lot of work. That's the most important thing you need to do. A lot of work, and that work includes reflection. That would be the starting process, reflection, of course, as we talked about, to find your interests and your career passions and the thing you want to build on. It requires resiliency because you are going to create a career plan. In the career development field, we like to call it career action plan, CAP. The career action plan will get you choosing goals that you'd like to accomplish. I recommend three-term goals, the short-term, medium-term, and long-term. I have that for myself, so I do practice what I preach. But also, it's up to you if you just want to do the short term. And the short term can be 1 day, can be 1 month, can be 3 months. It's up to you. But it's all about the process of creating goals and following through on them. Of course, this requires resiliency. This requires ability to handle criticism, which is very hard for a lot of us. This requires persistence because guess what? You are going to fail in that action plan. You create it and you hope you can follow your goals. Step 1, 2, 3, I can do this, but you will find some obstacles along the way, some barriers, depending on how high you are aiming in your career plan. So definitely a lot of work, a lot of reflection, and absolutely for sure, a lot of goal creation and following through on these goals. All right, this is all the time I have for questions today because I do want to share with you one quotation. And typically for those of you joining Hoda's Career Chat for the first time, I like to share a weekly reflection. So something for you to take with you and reflect on and get back to me with more questions, hopefully, about how to move forward with your education and career questions, or maybe as well with results in that, yes, I did this and this is what I was able to accomplish. So definitely would appreciate your comments. Here's the weekly reflection for you to just think about. Desire. That's the one secret of every man's career. Not education, not being born with hidden talents, desire. This is a quotation from Jay Carson. And the reason I shared it with you today is because we talked about passion, and this is, again, desire. It's really, what do you want to do? What do you find yourself having fun doing all day long without feeling that you're ready to move to something else? What do you find yourself lost? So I had a lot of questions in the past few weeks about, well, I don't have the right education. Will I be able to get that job? I say it is your desire to have that job. So I definitely agree with that quotation. How much do you really want that job, and how much are you willing to fight for it? So you may not have the appropriate education, but you might have the appropriate experience. And this can be taken into account. But you need to be willing to work hard, that desire to work harder to get that particular job. So it's something for you to think about until next week. And here are a few reminders. If you'd like to learn more about what I do, you can check my website, guidecareerfit.com. For those of you following me on Instagram, you know I'm on Instagram, but also on Pinterest and Twitter, where I try to post some fun stuff, some blogs, some quotations as well. I love quotations, as you can see. I am also on YouTube and SoundCloud, where you will be able to hear and watch our live session today. And let me know what you think of my slides, particularly on YouTube. I try to get creative with the slides, so I'd love to hear your input. I'm also on LinkedIn, and I'm mainly on LinkedIn because I like to share the opportunities I find, job opportunities for you to apply, scholarship opportunities, and other programs that I think might come in handy. So all you have to do is go on my LinkedIn page and see my posts. They're mostly about opportunities that you may be looking for. So I do spend every now and then some time just looking on LinkedIn for job opportunities that I think might pop up for my clients, and I share them. So if you are looking for a particular job in a particular field, send it to me and I will share it, probably tag you with it as well if that's what you'd like. And I do that mostly on LinkedIn. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you next week. And I'm already looking forward to your questions.